Hello and welcome to Mirror Talk. We have moments where we just have to pause. Just pause and take a break and reflect on life. Remember, you are strong, you are enough, you are capable, you are blessed, and you are loved. Your moment of greatness starts now. It's a delight to have a research scientist, an optimist, a career coach, and a mentor who holds a double PhD degree in organic chemistry. He runs a mentorship platform where he provides graduates with scholarship opportunities or applications and also provides free career advices. I love your tagline on LinkedIn, which says, "Till we all win, we are all work in progress." Today I have Dr. Kelechukwu Onwukamike. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing quite good. And how are you, Toby?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I would just love to learn from you today. Having a double PhD degree, how was achieving that great success? How has that been? How has that journey been towards achieving that?
I would say that eventually you learn to take one day as they come, right? So I didn't start up at the beginning, let's say 10 years, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago, thinking that I would want to end up doing a double PhD program. So I think when we look at today and try to imagine how we want to achieve those things now, it makes it so difficult. So if you have someone looking at you and saying, but I want to also achieve this, and I feel like I would need even a lot of time to achieve it, it makes it so difficult and so complicated. But when you break down everything into smaller steps, so whatever you are doing, just take step by step, and gradually you get to that destination. So I'm really a very big fan of step-by-step approach and towards achieving your goals. So really appreciating every step, right? So appreciating the step of the exam to finish, even from your first degree, appreciating the step of applying to a master's program, appreciating the step of being even shortlisted for interview, appreciating the step that you were actually given the scholarship, appreciating the step. So really taking step-by-step approach, and then eventually one day you will just realize that, I've come this far, right? But it's not something that I really had at the beginning, that this is where I want to be, and I'm all focused and ready to achieve it. I really take every day step by step.
Wow, that's great. So it's like you didn't have like a roadmap from the beginning. You were just taking it a day at a time or step by step. Or did you have like a plan from the beginning that, yes, I'm going to do my bachelor, then my master, then double PhD? Or
yeah, I would say that at the beginning, what was clear to me towards, or at least at the end of my bachelor, is that I want to do a master's. Right? That was what was the next step, not the PhD. The PhD was never the next step. I didn't want to take the option of applying to opportunities, say in the US, that would have allowed me to kind of go straight into a PhD from a bachelor. I wanted to really do a master's because, again, I wanted to build that foundation. And so the goal after my bachelor was to get a master's degree. Now, based on providence and also by God's grace, I got admitted into the Erasmus Mundus Master's Program, which is a double master's degree. But again, the goal was not to get a double master's degree. The goal was to get a master's degree. And eventually, I got into a program that offers a double master's degree. So in the course of this program, at the end or toward the end of the program, the next step was I would want to do a PhD. I still feel I want to build up expertise in an area that I've found interest in. And so it was more of now identifying the next step. And again, based on providence and God's grace, and also the abilities or the opportunities that I had from where I was at that point, I could apply for the PhD program, which turns out to be also a kind of a dual PhD program. So basically, I was registered in 2 universities and had to do the PhDs in both universities. And so this is something that I didn't plan, and I wouldn't have said after my master's that, it had to be a double PhD program before I would have said. So again, you see, it comes down to that approach of taking every day, or at least every step as they come. So if you talk to me 10 years ago, I definitely didn't see myself getting a PhD. It was never in the picture, really.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. I was stalking your LinkedIn profile, and I found out that you actually you first studied in Owerri before coming over to Germany. So how was that transition to you? Was it easy? Were there challenges? Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, I would say that there is a philosophy that, at least one of the philosophies that I believe in, and that is the philosophy of doing well where you are. It's basically an evidence that you will do well where you're going, right? So if you think about it, today most industries conduct what they call behavioral-based interview, in which case they are asking you about how do you handle certain type of situations in your past. If such a situation they envision could occur in your job, in your future, right? So by looking at how you have done it in the past, you could assess how you will do it in the future, because your approach on how you're managing your past, it's also likely how you're going to do it in the future. So moving from Nigeria to Germany, which was the first year of my master's, there was, of course, a lot of differences in the structure, in the type of learning, in the facilities and all. But I just had this strong belief that I did well in Nigeria, I would do well in Germany. And I see this also for many of my friends. I've also written an article on that on LinkedIn, where I titled it like, if you do well here, you will do well there, right?
Yes.
And so when people that have done well, because doing well is actually a function of the ability to, of course, manage your time, ability to plan yourself, and ability to recognize where you should focus your energy and where you should prioritize, right? So if you're someone that has always prioritized your studies in Nigeria, and with all the inconveniences that come with studying, you can imagine all the pressures, the lectures, and there's a lot of other things that you have to deal with. If you succeed in such an environment, and of course, if you come into Germany and you say, now I have constant this, I have this, I will not need to bother, it's not going to work.
Yes.
You have to put in such type of energy and tenacity and prioritization of important tasks when you are in Germany or in any other part of the world. And that is why when I look at most of my friends that also were with me in Kuto or in any other university in Nigeria, they do exceptionally well when they leave Nigeria, right? Because it's the same. They have done well in Nigeria. The tendency that they will not do well out of Nigeria is low, since it's the same person with the same mindset of knowing how much they should focus on their studies and knowing that this is their priority. So for me, there was, of course, a lot of things to adapt to, and cultural shock and all. But eventually, what was very clear in my head is that I've done well in Nigeria to be here, and I'm going to be there here. So that's how I see it.
So having a mindset of success really matters. As in, I did well here, I'm surely going to do well in a foreign country, in a foreign land.
Exactly. Your ability to refuse to allow what you don't know to define where you can be, right? So I know that there were some lectures that everything was basically new, and people were very shocked when they were close to me and they're like, "Are you sure you said you never had such a lecture?" And I'm like, "No." Then why did you seem to understand it? I said, "No, because you have to put in that effort, but you know clearly in your head that I'm not just going to say that I don't know this, I was not taught, so I'm going to shy away from it, right?" So of course, you will put in more effort. Perhaps you will need to stay away all night. But whatever you have to do is not the point. But just knowing in your mind that you have done it in the past, you can do it again.
Wow. You have done it in the past, you can do it again.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. And for a lot of foreign students, they ask this kind of questions like, okay, I'm leaving my motherland, I'm leaving Nigeria, for example, and I'm moving to a foreign country where I'm faced with a lot of things like you said, culture shock, for example, and other challenges like you are missing your family, you have no one around you. How do you deal with all of these challenges combined with attaining success in your academics? How did you overcome all these external distractions or challenges?
Yeah, I would say that in 2013, when I first moved to Germany, There was perhaps just that, of course, it's very, very lonely to be far away from home, but just knowing why I was here, right? I'm here to study. I'm here on a scholarship. I want to justify that I earned this scholarship, right? And so it was for me studies. And of course, things have changed. So if you look at a lot of now platforms where I was basically also looking for platforms where I could identify with Nigerian students that were in Germany studying.
Yes.
But at this point, I was not active on LinkedIn. I didn't really have that out of my space people that are somewhere doing similar things that I'm doing. So there was a lot of that disconnection, which meant I was really lonely in terms of identifying with people that understand my culture, that I could relate with best.
Yes.
The little I could get would have been from like going to church and then identifying with people, but not in study. So most of these people had other things that they were doing in Germany, and I could not really relate with them on many levels, right? And so when I looked at like my friends that were Indians, having really an Indian group, even down to the university, and then being able to do a lot of activities together, creating that kind of their own society. It always felt really lonely, I would say. But I think for me, what was really clear in my head was the purpose for which I was here. So I really just knew that I'm here to study, and every other thing had to be a secondary priority.
Wow, that's focusing on your goals.
Exactly, the purpose for which I'm here.
Wow. One thing that really drew me to you was all your posts on LinkedIn, as in they're so motivational, encouraging people to get their goals, to focus on getting on achieving their aims and purposes. And this really helped me in a lot of ways, like helping me to not relax on what I've achieved so far, but to attain for more and strength for more. So what drew you towards this kind of mentorship, providing of mentorship for people? What brought you to this?
I would say that from the beginning, I've always identified that the only way you rise is by lifting others, because eventually you get to know. As an example, really when I was much younger, I realized that when I study, if I want to really know what I've studied, I have to explain it to my kid brother. He was very young, he didn't understand what I was talking about, or at that point he could understand, but he was not in the field of what I'm doing. And I would just sit him down and say, you don't need to understand, just listen to me. And I would keep saying all the things that I've learned. And why this is important is that when you identify fulfillment in the success of others, that helps you to also realize what it means to be able to influence others on one hand, but also helping you to become also free, I would say, because imagine that you are the only person that knows everything. You get all these pressures on you. But if you disseminate and then train other people to be able to do it, you kind of also move away from being everything about you, right? So other people can also be able to provide such support. So for me, it was very clear that I want to be in a position that I could share what I know with others and allow them to be able to use this to grow. And so, but coming down to like the active mentorship that I'm doing at the moment was based on my really strong passion for human development, even mostly for the youth development. And so before I was in Nigeria, I was in the university, so I have basically had students where I was the course advisor. And the first thing that I realized just after my youth service was that a lot of people just needed the right direction to be whatever they want to be. Just the right direction. I mean, we have this course advisorship position in the university, at least in my university, I don't know for others, where there is someone that is responsible for a class, right? So a class is the people that came into a particular year. So you might have 2005 set, 2006 set. So every set had a course advisor. Now, for people that came into year one, you have a course advisor that is supposed to manage them. He collects their results, but above the results, he should be someone that guides them through the university, understands how to teach them, And I realized that this is perhaps one of the most important roles. And when I remember my experience, I had a fantastic course advisor, but I know that I had a couple of friends that had course advisors that they basically are scared to go to. You know, like how would the person that should guide you scare you? I mean, so then you have also some people that would come to me and their results are so bad from year one, and the course advisors advise to them simply breaks them down, and they end up not even graduating on time, simply because they don't get that right support. So I realized really from the beginning that a lot of people graduating even with fantastic results are simply going to wander for so long because they don't have guidance. And I see this as really big, and as someone that is really passionate to drive, because my belief is that to drive change in the direction of human and capacity development, the best people or the people that have done their best to graduate with good results and to have graduated with good results, but now you look like, what is the point, right? I just don't want to imagine anybody in such a situation. So this is why I'm putting a lot of effort through sharing a course and also mentoring to give these people a voice, and also let them know that there is nothing like I just started, I feel so small, and there is this guy that is so big. Because for me, I was fortunate that I had a brother that had gone much in front of me, and he was really taking me by hand to guide me through. But a lot of people don't get this opportunity. So you have someone that graduated with the first class and he's literally just struggling, not because he's not good enough, but he doesn't have the information. And so this is what drove me to create this platform.
Wow. And this is very, very good, because you just made a point about, direction. And I find it's very, very important for, one's academical success and, also personal success in every other area. Once one has a direction, one has the higher tendency of succeeding in any area of life. And that's really wonderful, and this is one thing I'm going to take along with me too. And that's also one thing that inspired me starting this podcast about self-reflection and self-improvement, trying to know if I'm still on the right track, or if just for everyone to know if you are still on the right track. And that you made mention of is now someone to pull you along. Like you made mention of your brother, who has gone ahead of you, and he was able to pull you along and direct you properly. What do you think one can do? Okay, I know one answer is going to be like the mentorship, but what do you think one can do when one doesn't have anyone to look up to? For example, like if one feels like, oh, I'm so lonely, I don't have anybody to look up to, but I'm striving, I'm struggling to succeed, but I don't know how to do it. What do you think I should do?
I would say that in today's society, it's very easy. Of course, you might not get that person as kind of a personal mentor that gets to speak with you, but you can always look up to people that are where you would want to be as a guidance. And most times you can also, if they are not approachable in the sense that you could not get an opportunity to talk to them. I have a lot of requests of people saying they want to be my mentees, but it's just not practical again, right? We have to also think of capacity and ability to really do it well. And it's not just about having 1,000 people as mentees, and eventually there are just a bulk of people that, of course, you cannot really be sure of what they are influencing and helping them achieve. So meaning that if there is someone that doesn't have any form of one-on-one interaction with the person who would want to be or grow into, you can start looking into their life and what the routes that they have gone through. So especially, and that is what one good thing about LinkedIn, right? So you follow the post of this person. Like I share a lot of content that moves towards that direction of guidance. That doesn't necessarily mean I need to speak to you before you can be guided, right? And it's not just about me. There are also a couple of other people that are doing fantastic work out there. And you can say, okay, my background is chemistry. Where can I be? What can I become, right? And then you can go on LinkedIn and use the filter to find people that do chemistry, and then see, okay, Nigerians chemistry people, and then see what they are doing. And that will also give you a guide of what you could do, right?
Yes.
And of course, you can start doing kind of background search on, okay, they did, like if you go and check mine and say, oh, he did chemistry, okay, I did chemistry, that's a good start. Oh, he did a master's in he did an Erasmus Mundus master's. What does Erasmus Mundus master's mean? You go online and you search that, right? And he did a program on film. What does functional advanced materials mean? Check. So you can go into the profile of the people that you are looking up to, and they mentor you from their profile, from their post, without literally talking to you one-on-one. And I mean, this is also something, a kind of, I would say, a misconception that a lot of people have. Like, they might feel that, okay, if I don't speak to this person, I am not being mentored, right? I think this is not the case. You could be mentored just by following somebody, and this is what we do when you follow somebody that inspires you. So he makes a lot of posts, and then you get inspiration from this post to improve yourself. And this is mentoring. So it's the same thing. And so I would say that the first starting point for anyone that is also trying to grow would be to create a LinkedIn profile. Why LinkedIn? Because this is one place that you will be able to easily understand the background of people and also understand where they are, and also able to follow their progress. So I think one good way for you to like have a lot of people that are mentoring you without literally talking to them. And I wouldn't say anyone should like rule themselves out of such opportunities simply because they are not able to talk to someone, or they are sending messages and the guy or the lady is not responding. Then they feel like, oh, he doesn't respond, I have no mentor. So if they inspire you, of course, the reason why they inspire you is because you have been reading their posts, you have seen their profile, do a kind of back, I would say, retrospective analysis, right? Also, like where you are, move backwards into what they have done and see what you can learn from it to apply it into your own life.
Wow. That means one has to actually, put in some work into, improvements. In case one does not get that mentor, for example, one has to really, put in the work, do the research, and
even when you have a mentor, and so the purpose of a mentor is not to do work for you. It's again guidance, right? And this is another aspect that sometimes when people talk of mentoring, it sometimes gets mixed up, because some people might feel that a mentor simply means someone that would hold you by hand, drag you all around. No, a mentor should be someone that should guide, kind of position you into like helping you be what you want to be. A mentor is not meant to make you become you or her. He's supposed to make you become you, or make you to become improvement of yourself. So, meaning that without literally talking to someone, really one-on-one, hearing the person's voice, of course, this is good to have if it works, but it's not a showstopper if such an opportunity does not present itself, and you don't get to like limit yourself from utilizing what is available. Because even when you have that mentor that holds you by hand, you still need to do a lot of work for yourself.
Wow. Work. One has to put in the work by himself.
Exactly.
So I have this one question in mind. When I look at mentors, right, I always think, yes, these people are perfect. They've achieved everything. They are, they have no problems. They have no issues. So you as a mentor, can you tell us, things that you face sometimes, or challenges that you face sometimes, that even when you think, oh, I'm focused, but that focus seems to be, to be shaking, or that strength seems to be shaking. What do you do to, pull yourself out of all these kind of situations, all these kind of down situations in life, and push forward again and strive to achieve greatness? What do you do when you are feeling low, feeling down, feeling discouraged?
Yeah, I would say that again, the way that most times you see the word mentoring might make it look like, oh, this is a mentor. Everybody is a mentor, right? Depends on who you are influencing and who you are guiding, based on from what position you stand. So I tell my mentees that I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here for us to learn. So we are all work in progress. You see, I use this a lot with the post, because literally we are all work in progress. I don't think there is anyone anywhere that would come. I mean, if there's someone that does that, then I'm sorry for the person to feel like I have arrived. What does it mean to arrive? There's nothing like arrive. We are all working in progress to exit this world. And what that means is you need to always be conscious that you can improve. You can improve, you can be better, there is something more that you can improve on. And this is also what opens up the opportunity to learn. Like many of my mentees, or not many, a lot of my mentees literally teach me, right? So there is a lot of things I'm learning from them. And sometimes I come to that, you are going to be my mentor on this aspect. I'm like, why? I say, yeah, because you are my mentor on this aspect.
Yeah.
And I learned, but no, you just need to fall away all the titles that make it look like this is some person that has no problem, nothing is bothering you.
Yeah.
True, everybody has something that bothers them. And of course, and when we are down as humans, we should. What inspires me or what keeps me motivated is always more on looking forward to what is still possible, right? So
yes.
We always have challenges, we always have failures, but also seeing what failures do actually. What do you get out from failure? How do you crystallize out the lessons that you want to get from failure? So, meaning at the end of the day, if someone anywhere feels that because you are answering a mentor, because a lot of people are looking up to you, then you are some kind of God, then I think that is a pity. You should see yourself as a learner, right? You guide people by learning, and you provide support to people by learning. So you are not just someone out there, and every other person is learning from you, and you don't learn from them. I think that would be disastrous.
Yes.
So every mentor that realizes or understands what it means to mentor would know that it's an opportunity for you to grow, because you are growing, and your mentees are growing, and also growing you. So it's really both sides, I think.
Wow.
And yeah.
So everyone keeps on learning. The mentor and the mentee, they all learn from each other.
Exactly. It's a relationship that opens up the opportunity for you to identify and grow. So it's not about, it. Of course, I have the experience that I've applied to social scholarship. I want social scholarship. And I can tell people that, if you're applying to this scholarship, this is how your motivation letter should look like. This is how your CV should look like. This is what it means to have a coherent story and all. But that is it, right? I also need to learn from people that come and they have very nice background, they have experience in different technologies, and they also open up that opportunities for me to learn from them. So I think it's a lot of what you really need to see. That's why for me, I tell my mentees, it's a family, so we are here together, we are in this together, and the goal here is not to get a scholarship, the goal here is for us to grow. So getting a scholarship doesn't exclude you or doesn't qualify you to say, oh, now I'm not. No, so we need to really see it as a relationship.
Yes. Wow. That's really amazing. Thank you so much for that. We have to keep on learning from one another. Anyone that stops learning, the person is dead then.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you've quite answered my next question already, but I have it in mind, so I'll just ask it anyways. And that's your LinkedIn profile banner. It has till we win, we are all work in progress. Till we win, we are all work in progress. And that then when I read this, I read it like a couple of times before, and I was like, how do we know when we've won? when do I look at myself and say, yes, I've won? When is that point in life I say, yes, I'm no more a work in progress, I have won?
That's the point, because that time there's nothing like that. That is what keeps you improving. And that is what it means when we have this part of our mind that says we are arrived. And you see, and that is also why I told you about appreciating and celebrating every step. If you don't appreciate all the small steps, increment steps that you are making, and you are waiting for that big step, literally, when that big step comes in your mind, you'll be shocked that you'll be like, okay, what now? You see, like I remember after defending my PhD, it's a lot of effort and all, and now I'm like, is this it? And maybe I felt like I would start flying, or it was just one day. I mean, it's an effort of 3 years, and it just, you see, it's not that day of the defense that gives you the PhD. It's the whole 3 years.
Yes.
And so to come down on one day, in 1 or 2 hours, and say you are defending and you have become a PhD, of course, I'll be able to answer the doctoral based on just that 2 hours. It doesn't make sense. It's the 3 years. It's all those times you spend in your life, all those failures, all those steps, all those days you've celebrated every little step that you've achieved. That is when you appreciate the process. So
Yes.
if you don't appreciate the steps you're taking, all the advancements you are making in life, and you're waiting for that day, that big day. I have many of my mentees that have finally gotten scholarships, and they're like, how do you feel? Is this it? That's the point. If you were not appreciating the steps, first year you applied, you were not selected, shortlisted. Second year, you say, oh, I'm not happy. Second year, you applied, you were shortlisted, oh, I'm not happy. Third year, you applied, you were shortlisted, even invited for the interview, you didn't get it, oh, I'm not happy. Fourth year, you get the scholarship. And you think that is when you want to celebrate, then you would really feel disappointed, I would say. Because that is nothing. And that is why I coined it to be like, see, we all win, we are all work in progress, means that as we keep making all the winnings, all those steps, the winnings are an accumulation of many, many smaller wins. And this is how you keep putting your mind to always be conscious that you don't have to feel comfortable and start feeling superior and start denying other people opportunities because you feel like you have arrived, So we are all work in progress, and there is, for you to identify what you're doing. Imagine now you said, winning means achieving, becoming an owner of a company at the age of 40. Okay, you achieve it. So what do you do with the rest of your life? Right? So it's really work in progress. I mean, this is a big step, a milestone achieved. What next? There is always something next. And that is what we need to be very conscious and put it into our mind, that we all have opportunities to grow, right? And don't deny yourself that opportunity to always identify potentials and areas to grow.
Wow.
So winning is a mindset, actually. So winning is a mindset. It's not a state, it's a state of the mind. It's not like now is winning. I have arrived winning. What happens after winning? What do you do with so after the winning? What is behind winning? So I don't know what that would be. So winning is right in front, and we keep appreciating all the smaller wins and keep doing this until we possibly depart the world.
Wow. So what as it one is a work in progress till the end of the days.
It's always work in progress.
Till one is buried. That's the end.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really amazing. Thank you so much for that. Because sometimes I am personally, I always you just shared it already. Like sometimes you want to achieve something and you be like, okay, now what next? You gotten that job offer. Okay, now what next? and you just feel like, while I was struggling all this while, beating myself up, and now I got it. And I don't know what to do.
Just for this paper, At the end of the day, imagine all the time you spent in the university. What did you get? If you think what you got was the certificate, then there's a problem, right?
Yes.
So again, that is why you need to see the process. You need to let the process build you. You need to let, as you move through life, that life builds you, and that is why you are work in progress. Because what happens as you move through life are the different experiences, good, bad, whatever, but how you crystallize and internalize them and move forward into those experiences is how you're growing. And then when this happens again in the future, you are more mature because you dealt with experience and you manage it better, but you keep going. And then things keep happening, but you realize that winning doesn't mean I have to stop, right? Because you can't stop. That's the point. So if you were to keep saying, okay, I've now won and I don't need to keep working, what happens after? You probably start losing. So then you now lose and then start winning again, and after winning, you leave it, you drop back. That doesn't look like a progress.
No, it does not. Wow, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you. So bringing this a little bit personal. One question that comes to mind is, how do you deal with work-life balance? You as a goal-getter, you have a lot of work to do. What do you think of work-life balance, and what's your advice or tips on this?
I would say that depending on, so my family is not here, so this also gives me a bit of time to do other things after regular work. And so for this, I spend a lot of time on my mentees, on my mentoring platform. And I would say that you have to find time to do other things. You have to condition yourself to realize that, having enough sleep is important, because you need your mind to be able to work at best when you rest best. So you just have to, of course, I'm a goal-getter on one hand, but I'm also someone that wants to appreciate other things around me. So, many people that come very close to me will be like shocked of how much distracted I can become, or how I can allow distractions into my life, just to break even from, I would say, from that serious day-to-day, like really doing other things and just not doing what I would say is always focused on getting something. So I remember then that my course advisor in the university was like very shocked that I had a girlfriend, and she told me that I hope this doesn't make you to drop for being a first class, but for me, I just knew that this is not what will make me not to graduate in the first class. I understand how to balance, again, what I need to do and how I need to prepare my studies, students. So we all need to identify and really give out space to identify how we want to celebrate our own life and not just have it all around work.
Wow. So you mean it's like a personal thing that want us to look inward to know how to balance that work and life situation?
I think it has to be something that you identify. I'm not someone that wants to see myself as I'm going to. I did a bit of this at the first when I moved into my master's, so study. But it's good, yeah, but not the best. I think we all need to find a balance. Maybe I'm not also the best person to advise on how to find the line. But my belief is that if you have other things, be part of other activities that take you away from work. So join a team, club, whatever, a gym. Just take your mind off and do other things. And just play about it that now work is done, there is a line, and now I have to do other things, like talking to you now. This is not work.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Wow, that's good. Thank you so much. Wow, I've been blessed from everything you've shared already. I really appreciate this. One other thing I would love to ask is, about your mentorship platform. I'm sure it's already filled up already, but in case there's someone listening here and wants to, get on that platform with you, what are the requirements and how can a person access you?
I would say that at the moment it's not feasible, not because I don't again want to have more and more people, because it makes sense, and since I'm really someone that is passionate to help as much people as I can. I correct a lot of motivation letters, personal statements from people that are my connection, not mentees. So again, I don't put that line. It's not like my mentees have some special treatment that it's hidden from every other person. In fact, I tell my mentees, if there is information shared on the platform that could benefit your friends, please share it to them. Don't make it look like this is some secret code and everything has to stay here. No. Yeah. Share it, bring other people in, share what you need to share. But I just know that I cannot manage more than what I have currently. So for someone listening to me at the moment, of course, you can always follow me on LinkedIn. I share a lot of posts on positions available, on scholarships. I share a lot of information. In fact, there is actually a presentation that I have on Monday. So the flyer is ready. If you check my LinkedIn, and you will see this. And this is specifically training for people that want to have a scholarship, right? And this is the kind of activity or event that any listener that is looking in that direction should attend. And attending it is as good as what I would have given to my one-on-one mentee. So the idea here is to really give a presentation of step-by-step approach on how you can identify scholarships you can apply, what you need to consider. People can take it and benefit from it, and they would not say, you need to share it to me personally before I can use it, So leverage on the resources, a lot of articles, a lot of posts that I've made, and use the information that come from it. So there is no special need for you to be called my mentee before you can get such a benefit.
Wow. I'm going to put your name and your LinkedIn profile in the show notes of this episode, so that anyone that's listening and would love to get connected with you on LinkedIn can just get across to you through LinkedIn. Then
exactly, and of course Yeah, and exactly, you can also share I don't know how soon this would be posted, but if it's soon enough before Monday, then you can also include, I could share with you the link for this program. And it will be on Zoom, but it will be streamed live on Facebook, and after that, the recording will be shared on YouTube. I think you would get the link of the record after Saturday, and you can include it, so people can directly watch it.
I would just love to say, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Is there, words of advice you just love to throw to us, so that what questions I've not asked you, and since you love to share with us, that is very important and vital for our growth, for our reflection, for this journey of self-improvement.
I would say that as the parting word is that we should not forget to appreciate and celebrate and identify all the little steps that we are making. Don't get overwhelmed looking at people's profile or people's achievements and thinking that you are late, or that you're a failure, or that you could have been better. See your life as an opportunity for yourself, and also understand that everyone has their own destiny and nobody is actually late. Don't think that because you didn't get the scholarship this year, you've applied for many years, there is no need to apply again. There is no winner that is a quitter. If you will win, you have to keep doing it. You have to do it even better than you did before. You have to just declare in your head that one day you would get to where you want to be, and understand that if you don't celebrate all the steps you are making before getting there, you might be disappointed when you get there. So understand that life is a process. Success is the whole process, with ingredients of failure in it. So understanding how to use and get the experience from failure to be able to build up yourself while you work towards success is very important. So I would say that for everyone, don't just look at people today and feel like they had it all figured out. I had nothing figured out. It was just really still looking step by step and understanding, getting the right support, and also leveraging on people can provide us information, not specifically on one-on-one, but really looking at what they are doing and then following their posts. So in this way, you can also identify how to be able to grow yourself.
Wow.
But just always be clear in your head that we are always working progress, all of us.
Wow, we are all work in progress. I'm taking that along with me, and I'm also taking along celebrating every small step. Every small step must be celebrated and appreciated.
Yes.
Wow.
Let the process build you.
Let the process build you.
Yes. Let the process. Let the process build you. So, let life as an experience build you. Don't fight it and deny what it wants to include into your life. Because at the end of the day, when you get that success, what you're going to celebrate is really the process itself, not that end result. Because that is not where the joy and where the fulfillment comes from. It's knowing that you've spent all these years and now you've arrived here and you know all the steps that you've gone through. We have all gone through failures, a lot of failures, even currently at various points, but we have to always look beyond the failure and see what is possible in the future.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, I am going to listen to this podcast again and make my own personal notes and maybe put them on my walls and make sure that I'm looking at it every day. Stay focused and enjoy the process, learn from the process, not the end result. And Wow. Thank you so much, Doctor. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor.
It's a pleasure.
I really appreciate this.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I am eternally grateful for your time, your love, and contributions. You mean a lot to me. Thank you once again for listening and sharing with your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe and follow this journey on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms in the description. Stay blessed.